your next assignment is a writing assignment, and it's called Explain Your Hobby. And so what I'm wanting you to do is write to an audience. Think about what audience you're writing to. And as usual, your audience is going to be someone who is reasonably intelligent, like you, but who does not have all of the same information that you have. So you need to write with respect and don't patronize your audience, but you need to explain things that maybe you take for granted. So keeping those things in mind, I want you to explain your hobby. What is a hobby? A hobby is also called a pastime. In English, pasatiempo. It's something that you do to relax, or to exercise, or to have fun. It's something that you know something about because you spend time doing it. I know that we've had some people at Liquidambar that have the hobby of making electronic music. We have had people that collect coins. We have had people at Liquidambar who love to read romance novels, or who love to read manga. We have people who their thing is to play soccer. Lots of people whose thing is to play soccer. A few girls that I know of who have an affinity for fashion, and they like to watch fashion shows on YouTube, and they like to practice as if they're a model and think maybe one day they could be a model. I've had a student in the past who was a model while she was my student. She was a senior at international school. I also had a student while I was there who was a table tennis player. She played internationally table tennis. So I don't know what your hobbies are, but you should think of something that you like to do, that you know something about, but maybe other people don't know everything that you know. So this is a diagram that I want you to fill out based upon your hobby and what you have to say about it. So the introduction should include an attention grabber. So I want you to write something in a blank off to the left to remind yourself what your attention grabber is going to be, and a thesis statement. The attention grabber could be a story. It could be some generalities about your hobby. It could be how people may have misjudged you because you have this hobby. Many things like that. And your thesis statement is basically going to introduce us to the three things you're going to explain in your 3 body paragraphs. So for example, I have 3 tips for you to become a better Free Fire player. Okay? If that's your hobby, playing Free Fire. Or there are 3 things that people don't really understand about, I'm trying to think of a hobby people misunderstand. There are 3 things that people really don't understand about Dungeons and Dragons. That's another game. 3 things that people don't understand about manga, or anime, or whatever. 3 myths, like things that people believe to be true about your hobby, but really are not true. And then you can use your 3 paragraphs to bust the myths, or what that means is to explain why those misconceptions are actually misconceptions and what really the truth is. 3 things that you need to get started. So if you were into electronic music, then you will probably need certain computer equipment, maybe a certain type of microphone or sound system, different things like that. And you could explain those 3 things in your paragraphs. So I'm not going to tell you what needs to go in these paragraphs because each person's hobby has different things that can be explained about it. But remember, your audience is someone who is reasonably intelligent, but who does not know the same things that you know. Believe it or not, the entire world does not know how to play Call of Duty. So, or believe it or not, the entire world does not know all of the intricate rules that there are in soccer. So those are the so you need to decide what your three things are. So if I were going to do this, one of my hobbies is translating songs from Spanish to English, or from usually from English to Spanish. Okay, so it's about translating songs. That's how I put my title up here, translating songs. And I'll probably think of a better title later, but this is my working title. And my attention grabber is going to be, I'll talk about a time, so I'm going to anecdote. Anecdote is a word for a really, really, really short story, like 3 or 4 words. Not 3 or 4 words, but 3 or 4 sentences. And I'll tell a little story about one of the first times that I decided to translate a song into Spanish for my Spanish-speaking friends. And then thesis statement would be, so 3 things to keep in mind. And so I'm already thinking about my audience. So three things to keep in mind. I can't write very well on this easel, sorry. 3 things to keep in mind. And then I'm already thinking about my audience. My audience is someone who may want to translate songs, but who doesn't really know everything that I know about it that I've learned over the past 12 years of doing this. Yep, about 12 years. So one of the things is going to be that it's more important to get the idea across. And there are certain things that we can do. I'm just trying to process this. There are certain things that we can do when we're putting things in Spanish that we can't do in English. Like we can meld 2 vowel sounds together to make 1 syllable and stuff like that. So working with syllables. One thing that's really important is knowing how the accents fall. And so you don't want to say something like, you need to have the emphasis on the right syllable, because that's wrong. You need to make sure that the beat goes with the accent in Spanish and in English, but I speak English, so it's natural to me. So you need to think about accents, you need to think about syllables, and need to think about meaning. I think the meaning is the most important thing. So we need to look for that means that we need to look for the best word to mean something. And in Spanish, there might be more words for something than in English. And we get to choose which word is the best one. Syllables may be the weakest one. And accents, beats and accents. Okay, so I might do 3 paragraphs like that, and then it says conclusion, relate back to your reader, and so I'm going to write something there. Let's see. The most important thing is that, maybe I'll move the meaning down here. Anyway, so really all you need to do is put a little working title. Put something up here to remind you what kind of attention grabber you're going to do, like an anecdote like me, or general information, or a misconception, or different things. And your basic idea of your thesis statement. Notice I'm not writing any complete sentences. I don't want you to write complete sentences on this. I want you to just think about how you're organizing your thoughts. And later you can change these things as you're working, but this is something to go by. And this is your pre-writing assignment, to do this, and then to figure out something about your conclusion. And right now I'm just drawing a blank. I'm going to have to think about that. But, yeah, so just fill out a graphic organizer about your hobby, and I'll give you a little bit of feedback on that. But this pre-writing is an easy 7 points. And then after that, I want you to go into your rough draft. So you use this information to inform yourself how you're going to do your rough draft. And you can actually write the body paragraphs first and go back and write the introduction after that, and whatever you want to do when you're doing your rough draft. But this shows how you're going to organize. So what's going to come first? I put meaning over here because I'm thinking first, second, third body paragraph, and meaning is the most interesting one. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 points. Well, you have to write something on the conclusion. So I'm going to relate back to my reader. I might talk about how this has helped me with church service planning here in Honduras. So when I have not been able to find a song that really says what I want it to say in Spanish, I can use one in English and translate it, and it's really helped me a lot in my planning. So in this essay, when you're doing your rough draft and your final draft, you may use second person and you may use imperatives. I normally do not want you to use either second person or imperatives in your writing, but in this one you can, because you're actually explaining something to your reader. So have a reader in mind. Remember the subject, occasion, audience, purpose. Okay? Think about an occasion for which you would want to explain this. So like your little sister wants to learn how to play the game that you play. That's the occasion. The subject is the game. The audience is your little sister. The purpose is to help her to get started. So just remember those things. I'm not going to make you list them, but if it helps you to list them, go for it. In fact, you know what? 7 points, I'll give you a bonus point if you list the SOAP. Okay, that means that you've listened to the end of this video, because I'm done here. You can use second person, you. You may use imperatives. That means that you can tell your reader what to do. So like turn on the interface, whatever. And that's it. Happy writing.